Introduction: the truth behind who you truly are goes beyond anything you ever imagined. Have you ever stopped to think about the power behind the simple phrase, I am? We're not just talking about empty words. We're talking about a cosmic force capable of shaping your reality. Are you ready to unlock your unlimited potential? This is the moment to understand how your identity, how you see yourself, and what you declare about yourself is a key to transforming your life. Forget what you thought you knew about manifestation. I am is not just a concept. It is a foundation of everything you can be. Let's explore how this declaration can change not only your mindset, but your entire journey. Are you ready to challenge your beliefs and live in alignment with your true power? What you're about to learn could be the greatest turning point of your life. Power of I am, the power of the phrase I'm, goes far beyond a simple description of who you are. Every time you say this phrase, you're not just describing yourself. You are, in fact, shaping your reality. This small phrase has the power to create a vibrational order in the universe, an energy field that responds directly to what you declare about yourself. Imagine that by saying, I am abundant or I am healthy, you are triggering a universal force that starts to align circumstances around you to manifest that very thing. Believe it or not, it's not just a matter of empty words, but an active manifestation of your deepest self. I am is a declaration to your innermost being, and through this declaration, you begin to realize that, contrary to what many think, the universe does not respond to what you want, but to who you believe you are. If you believe you deserve success, opportunities will begin to present themselves. If you see yourself as someone aligned with divine purpose, the doors to that path will open. Transformation happens not when you just say, I want, but when you firmly declare, I am. This is a fundamental pillar in the process of quantum manifestation, where the declaration of identity becomes a key to unlocking the reality you wish to create. The impact of this is profound. Every time you declare, I am, you are sending a vibration to your energetic system, communicating with your higher consciousness, and aligning your energy with what you desire to manifest. For example, consider Benjamin, an individual who felt financially stuck. Instead of focusing on scarcity, he decided to start affirming every day, I am prosperous. Over time, Benjamin noticed that his mind began to focus on opportunities, and he started to act differently. This simple act of reprogramming had real and lasting effects on his life, showing the transformative power of the phrase, I am. However, it is important to remember that change doesn't occur simply when you make a declaration, but when you truly believe what you are saying. I am must be a true affirmation that resonates deep within your being. Otherwise, you will be merely repeating words without action. True transformation comes when you fully align with this identity. This practice is like a constant mental workout, where you replace limiting beliefs with a new vision of yourself and the world. What you affirm about yourself, your mind begins to seek in your reality to make it a fact. And as you realize the impact of the simple phrase, you begin to understand the true power of I am. When you say with confidence that I am worthy of success, you begin to see opportunities everywhere. When you declare, I am in harmony with the universe, your actions and decisions begin to reflect this harmony. It's not a magical process, but rather an energetic practice that involves alignment between your consciousness, your actions, and the manifestations you desire to create in your life. With every I am, you are shaping a new reality, a reality that begins to reflect in your actions and, eventually, in your materialized life. Identity as generative identity is not just something you have. It is something you create every single day. By affirming I am, you are not merely describing who you are, but also generating who you will become. Your identity is like fertile soil that, when nourished with the right seeds, becomes what you cultivate. Every thought, every word you speak, is shaping the person you are becoming. It's not just a description of the present, but a direction for the future you are building. The process of manifestation begins when you realize that the identity you carry is the key to the changes you wish to create in your life. When you affirm something like, I am a winner, you are creating a version of yourself that, by nature, will seek and act in alignment with that truth. The phrase I am is not a limitation of what you already are, but a gateway to what you are becoming. The true essence of generative identity lies in recognizing that by declaring who you are also laying the foundations of the future you want to build. Every time you declare with power, you're actively designing your trajectory. A practical example of this can be seen in people who, when faced with a significant challenge, shift their declarations. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," they affirm, "I am capable of overcoming this challenge." This simple movement of shifting identity, of affirming something greater, generates an immediate shift in how they respond to obstacles. Identity not only directs your actions, but also changes how you handle difficulties, because your view of what is possible for you changes. This change in understanding identity can be a game changer. For example, someone who always saw themselves as insecure starts affirming consistently that "I am confident and secure." Over time, this person begins to act in ways that a confident individual would act. They start making decisions that reflect that confidence. The generativity of identity is this continuous cycle. What you declare creates who you are, and who you are creates your reality. Understanding this, you realize that you are no longer a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. However, it's important to understand that changing your identity doesn't mean faking it or deceiving yourself. It's about aligning with the highest version of yourself, the one that already possesses the qualities you wish to manifest. A millionaire's identity isn't just about financial wealth, but a mindset of abundance and confidence. This is something you can begin to apply today. By shifting from "I always struggle to get what I want" to "I am someone who easily attracts opportunities," you begin to act in alignment with this new reality. The power to create your new identity lies in your hands, and it can start with simply changing your inner declarations. The law of assumption, is one of the most powerful universal laws governing manifestation and the creation of reality. It teaches us that it is not what we want that determines our reality, but who we believe ourselves to be. When we affirm, "I am," we are making an assumption about our identity, and it is through this assumption that our environment and reality begin to shift. The universe doesn't respond to what you want, but to who you are, which is why identity is so crucial in shaping your life's journey. Imagine that you want to attract more abundance into your life. If you continually see yourself as someone who struggles to survive, who doesn't deserve to prosper, you are creating a reality where abundance will never arrive. But by assuming the identity of someone who is prosperous, you completely change the game. When you say, "I am prosperous," you are assuming that abundance is already part of who you are, and this begins to reflect in the world around you. The universe then begins to work in your favor, aligning circumstances and creating situations that match the identity you have assumed. The law of assumption is not limited to just a simple affirmation, but to a continual state of being. You don't just say, "I am successful" once and expect everything to change. You live as if it were true. This means making decisions that reflect the belief in your own prosperity. It is behaving as if abundance is already your reality, acting with confidence and gratitude, as someone who is already living this experience. The true magic of the law of assumption is when you internalize what you are saying and begin to live from that truth. To understand this better, think of someone who has faced significant financial struggles. Instead of identifying as someone who is broke, they start affirming, "I am abundant and capable of creating wealth." And from this identity, they begin to make wiser financial decisions, invest wisely, and see opportunities where they once saw only obstacles. The internal change was the key to the external transformation. The law of assumption works exactly like this. When you change what you believe is possible for you, you change how you interact with the world. However, it is essential to understand that the law of assumption does not mean ignoring the present reality, but rather assuming it as a springboard for transformation. Instead of resigning yourself to your current situation, you view it as a temporary phase that can be overcome. Your belief in who you are in the future is what creates the pathway for it to happen. So, the question becomes, who are you assuming yourself to be right now? What do you believe is possible for you? The answer to these questions defines the reality you are creating and the manifestations that will materialize on your path. Neuroscience and belief, the science behind our beliefs, is fascinating, as it reveals how our mind shapes the reality we live in. The human brain has a filtering system known as the reticular activating system, RAS, which is responsible for filtering and prioritizing the information that comes to us. This system plays a crucial role in the manifestation process because it adjusts based on the beliefs you carry. If you constantly affirm, I am successful, the Arias begins to unconsciously search for information and opportunities that confirm this belief, ignoring or dismissing any evidence to the contrary. This explains why, when you change your internal beliefs, you start to notice a real and tangible change in your environment. This process is not magical, but it is a real biological mechanism. The brain, when fed with positive beliefs, begins to form new neural connections that reinforce those thoughts. For example, when you affirm, I am capable, your brain begins to look for and build a mental path that aligns with that belief. It's as if the brain starts doing its part to help you achieve what you believe is possible. The RAS, in turn, facilitates this process by giving more focus and attention to everything that aligns with your affirmations, creating a validation loop. This process also explains the importance of maintaining positive thoughts and being mindful of how your beliefs affect your reality. If you are constantly affirming I am incapable or I am unlucky, your brain will focus on all the evidence that proves these beliefs, creating a vicious cycle of negativity and self-sabotage. But when you begin to replace these limiting beliefs with empowering thoughts, the brain begins to look for solutions and opportunities that align with your new identity. Neuroscience teaches us that the brain is malleable and that it can be reprogrammed, but only if we pay attention to what we are feeding it. Changing your beliefs is, therefore, a practice that involves not only the power of the conscious mind, but also the reconfiguration of the neural patterns that sustain those beliefs. This is possible through repetition and consistency of I am affirmations. Every time you say a positive belief, you strengthen the neural connection associated with it, making it stronger and more integrated into your reality. This is the power of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and create new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. This also has a practical implication. If you want to manifest changes in your life, the first step is to change your beliefs. By affirming I am deserving of love, I am capable of achieving my dreams, or I am abundant, you begin sending these signals to your brain, and it begins to respond in a way that reflects these new beliefs. So, instead of waiting for the world to change for you, you realize that the first step is within you. The brain begins to create reality based on what you believe is possible, and as these new beliefs solidify, the opportunities and circumstances around you begin to shift. The sacred name, the concept of I am, goes far beyond the simple use of words. It is a creative universal force, a sacred principle. When God revealed himself to Moses with the words, I am who I am, he was not just sharing a name, but offering the key to understanding our true essence and the power we hold within us. The phrase, I am, is an expression of identity, but it is also an invocation of our divine potential. Every time we say, I am, we are aligning with this universal principle of creation, which transcends time and space, connecting us to the creative power of the universe. This revelation of I am is not just historical or theological, but practical and transformative. When you affirm, I am with intention, you connect with the creative power that exists all around you, because you are indeed a reflection of that power. For example, if you begin affirming, I am a being of light, you are declaring your connection to the divine, to what is pure and eternal. This type of declaration is a reminder that you carry within you the same creative essence that brought the universe into existence. By doing so, you are not only shaping your reality, but also connecting to the universal energy that allows everything to be created. Moreover, by using the phrase, I am, you begin to realize that your identity is not limited to the physical or the material. It is expansive, limitless, and connects with the great flow of cosmic energy that permeates everything. If you look at great spiritual masters like Jesus, Buddha, or Krishna, you'll see that they too use the affirmation of I am to express their connection to the divine and to the unlimited potential we all possess. When you make this affirmation, you are acknowledging that you are indeed an extension of the divine, with the power to create, manifest, and transform your reality. The importance of I am lies in the ability to internalize the profound meaning behind these words. They are not just empty words. They are affirmations that connect you to the primordial energy of the universe. When you say, I am abundant, you are acknowledging that abundance is your essential nature, not something you need to seek or find, but something that already resides in you, waiting to be awakened. And when you say, I am healthy, you are aligning with the vital energy that flows through your body, activating healing and regeneration. This connection to I am also brings a deep understanding of our essential nature as human beings. We are not beings limited by our circumstances or our personal history. We are expressions of the divine, with the power to change, grow, and create. When you fully grasp the profound meaning of I am, you realize that the possibilities are endless. You are no longer bound to what life has given you, but you become the creator of the life you wish to experience. And it is through this awareness that you begin to live in accordance with your unlimited potential. Shifting identity, true transformation begins when you change the identity you have of yourself. External changes do not happen sustainably until you change internally. The key to this transformation lies in the practice of changing your identity statements. For example, instead of seeing yourself as someone unlucky or insecure, begin affirming, I am a confident person, or I am someone who attracts success. When you change your words, you are changing the way your brain processes the world, and more importantly, changing the actions you take each day. These affirmations shape reality because you begin to live according to the identity you choose to adopt. Shifting your identity does not mean being false or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning with the highest version of yourself, the one who already possesses the qualities you wish to manifest. The identity of a millionaire is not just about financial wealth, but a mindset of abundance and confidence. This is something you can start applying today. By shifting from, I always struggle to get what I want, to, I am someone who easily attracts opportunities, you begin to act in alignment with this new reality. The power to create your new identity lies in your hands, and it can start with simply changing your inner declarations. This identity shift is an ongoing process. At first, it may be difficult to fully believe in the new version of yourself, but over time, your actions begin to align with the new identity. Imagine someone who always saw themselves as insecure starts affirming consistently that I am confident and secure. Over time, this person begins to act in ways that a confident individual would act. They start making decisions that reflect that confidence. The generativity of identity is this continuous cycle. What you declare creates who you are, and who you are creates your reality. By understanding this, you realize that you are no longer a victim of circumstances, but the creator of them. Changing negative thought patterns is one of the most powerful things you can do to transform your reality. Most people don't realize the impact that negative thoughts have on their lives. If you constantly tell yourself, I am unlucky, I am incapable, or I am unfortunate, you are creating a reality where these beliefs become true. The words we use to describe ourselves have immense power because they are connected to a vibrational energy that starts to reflect in our lives. To change your reality, the first step is to start paying attention to your thought patterns and reprogram them so they work in your favor, not against you. When you become aware of a negative thought, transformation begins. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I am not good enough, pause for a moment and shift the narrative. Say to yourself, I am more than enough, or I am capable of overcoming any challenge. These statements are not just empty words, but new seeds you are planting in your mind, with the power to create a new reality. This practice of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones is one of the first steps in changing not only your mind but your life. The change in thought patterns doesn't happen overnight, but with consistency and dedication, you begin to create new neural pathways in your brain. Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to reorganize, and this is what happens when you start replacing limiting thoughts with empowering ones. Every time you say, I am deserving of love, instead of I am unworthy, you are training your brain to recognize love as part of your identity. The result is a mind that is more open, more aligned with the possibilities the universe has to offer. Rewiring the brain, reprogramming the brain, is one of the greatest secrets to achieving personal transformation. The human brain has an incredible ability to adapt and change, known as neuroplasticity. This means that over time and with practice, you can reconfigure your neural connections to support new thought patterns and behaviors. When you consistently affirm I am successful or I am capable, you're literally creating new pathways in your brain. By doing this, these new pathways begin to replace the old, more negative ones, creating a mindset that is more positive and aligned with your goals. This reconfiguration of the brain doesn't happen overnight. But with the repetition of new affirmations and behaviors, you begin to create a mentality that favors success and abundance. Think of the brain as a garden. If you constantly plant seeds of negativity, they grow and spread. But if you start planting seeds of positivity and confidence, they too will grow and eventually dominate the land. The secret to reprogramming the brain is being consistent with your new affirmations and actions, creating a mentality that supports success. This creates a feedback loop where your mind begins to believe what you're saying, which in turn leads you to act accordingly. Now that you know the transformative power of I am, what will you do with all this knowledge? It's not enough to just watch and understand. It's time to apply. How about starting right now? If you truly want to change your life, make an immediate change in the words you use to describe yourself. Declare to the world and to yourself who you truly are. The universe is waiting to align with your true identity. So what will your next declaration be? Remember, every affirmation you make has the power to shape the reality around you. Now, tell me, what will be the first thing you declare about yourself to start your transformation? If you're ready to take the next step, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue learning how to unlock your unlimited potential. Together, we'll keep creating realities, aligning our energies, and exploring the vast power of I am. Don't miss the upcoming lessons to create the life you deserve.